Abbey and David. Yes, those Abbey and David from Love on the Spectrum. The pair who somehow convinced us that the fairy tale version of love could actually happen in real life, have reportedly broken up. I know, this one kind of knocks the wind out of you. If you've watched even a single episode, or honestly just seen a 30-second clip online, you know exactly who I'm talking about. Abbey Romeo and David Isaacman weren't just a couple on a reality show. They were the couple. The ones whose moments together felt so genuine that you'd end up ugly crying, not out of sadness, but because it felt hopeful in a way that was almost impossible to believe. They started dating back in July 2021, right there in front of the cameras at the San Diego Zoo Safari Park. Somehow, something just clicked. The connection between them wasn't forced or made for TV, and fans picked up on that right away. 5 years together, the longest anyone from the show has lasted. People cheered them on in Reddit threads, rooted for them through Twitter updates, and replayed those sweet moments on YouTube over and over. Honestly, the reasons we loved them are pretty obvious. These two didn't just follow a script. They made their own weird, wonderful love language. Abbey actually wrote and performed a song just for David, and I still can't get over her singing about liking gummy bears more than flowers. That's not an ordinary couple's inside joke. And her nickname for him? The milk to her Chardonnay. He brought milk to their wine tasting. So what? Abbey just found that detail endearing. She didn't see him as awkward or out of place. She saw him as wonderful, exactly as he was. So yeah, how do you just move on from something like that? Maybe you can't. The latest season of Love on the Spectrum dropped on Netflix just last week, fittingly enough on April Fool's Day. And yet, there they were, still together on screen, still figuring things out, at their own pace. Abbey was honest about not being ready for marriage just yet. She said they were already married in our hearts. She didn't want to jump ahead too quickly because she'd watched what her mom went through with divorce. And she didn't want that pain for herself or for David. It was thoughtful and real, the kind of conversation people don't usually put on TV. But then, Tyler and Madison got engaged, and Abbey, the same Abbey who said she wasn't in a hurry, looked right at the camera and said, "Hopefully we're next." She couldn't help herself. A week later, here we are, reading reports that it's over. People close to Abbey and David say it came down to timing. Abbey's been dreaming about marriage since back in 2022. She even talked about wanting a wedding in the Masai Mara in Kenya, making it all sound like a gorgeous kind of fairy tale that only she could dream up. David, on the other hand, apparently needed more time, and sometimes loving someone deeply isn't enough to bridge a gap that big. That probably hurts more than anything else. Sometimes real love just can't do everything. A friend says David's doing okay, which somehow feels like at least a small relief. I picture Abbey with friends in her corner, someone handing her a bag of gummy bears and just listening to her talk it out. But here's something to think about. Even with the heartbreak, Abbey and David gave us something really special. They showed us that love doesn't have to follow the usual script. Their version was honest, quirky, and tender. David would gently cover Abbey's ears when the world got too loud. Abbey would celebrate the smallest details with him and create entire songs about their inside jokes. They took their time at the LA Zoo, strolled through Disneyland, visited Griffith Observatory, just soaking up life together the way good friends and true partners do. People get obsessed with the idea that a successful love story has to end at the altar, but sometimes real love stories end with two people figuring out more about themselves, learning what makes them happy, and walking forward a little wiser. Maybe that's what happened here. If Abbey and David both step away from their relationship feeling stronger, it doesn't mean the story failed. It means it gave them something they needed. So tonight, whether it's wine, milk, or some gummy bears, let's raise a glass to Abbey and David, to a 5-year run that gave us something genuine to root for, to singing silly songs and standing by someone's side when they need quiet, to the weird, specific ways real love shows up, ways that don't always fit into fairy tales, but are, in their own way, even better. We got to watch something rare, and that's a gift. Not every love knows how to end quietly, letting both people keep what's good. Abbey and David managed it, and for that alone, they deserve a little celebration, even if it's bittersweet.